Yeah, you have to, be careful. We all understand what we're talking about, but if you're too descriptive, they're gonna cut these channels off and YouTube off, will cut us off. So it's just everyone knows what they're teaching, where they're teaching it, and this is a great battle for the souls of people. So it's a matter of having a very strong bond with the children, continuously teaching that we don't believe those things, and we raise the children. But their system is based on taking the mother out of the home, not having that love, not having that affection, and before you know it somebody else is raising the children. So it's best on whatever people can do is to raise your children, teach them their morals, keep them involved with these teachings, with the circles, with the chantings, by playing the zikr in home and everybody coming together and reciting and chanting and building that bond with the children, inshaAllah, and teaching. And the younger ages is the easiest because it's based on love, that's not the difficult part. So when you build that love and build that connection, by the time they're 15, 14, they're not going to go to Islamic school anyways. So they're going to go into whatever public school system they have and they're going to do their own thing anyways. But it's the foundation in which you build them, hopefully, was strong enough and understanding enough that no, we don't do that and we don't do this, and this is our belief system, and this the shaykh we have, this is the guidance we have, and the abundance of light that entering into their heart and dressing them every weekend. Every weekend as negativities are dressing them, they have to be dressed and recharged by the zikrs. So that was the importance of all the energy trainings and the understanding of energy. When all day long they're going into negative environments, then by Thursday when they sit and say, come sit and do the zikr with us, when they're young, they do, they all sit together, families, this is their entertainment. Make it entertaining, put some of their favorite candies, so we're going to put the candies in the middle to do the zikr. We're going to put this refreshments and it become like an entertainment, we're going to do the zikr. And then many families after the zikr talk about what was talked about. And you have to put time and effort into raising your family. And as a result they have a foundation like building a house. You built it on concrete. So by the time somebody else is continuously trying to reprogram, they're pretty much like concrete. So, and then that phase of life Prophet described, then you have to be their friend, because as they get older they're now going to take their courses in life in whatever direction Allah has written for them, and the tests that they're going to take. And everyone's going to make many bad choices, as all of us made bad choices, but we got here. Allah saved us. InshaAllah save their lives and grant them a najat, and that's through the friendship, right? They're going to do things that the parents are not going to like, but it's the friendship that's a rope to their heart, so that at any time they can reach out to you in their time of need and in their time of confusion. If you follow certain philosophies where they shut the door, say, I disown you, want nothing to do with you, you cut that rope and there's no way back to you. And Prophet didn't give this as an example. And the tariqas, their logos, come, if you broke your vow 1,000 times, still come again. So the shaykh's teachings are even teaching, don't ever shut the door to people that you're not in the tariqah anymore. You can say the character that you're exhibiting, you have to clean it, but keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Fix yourself, clean yourself, be appropriate, and tariqah is available to you. So you never shut that door to the best of your ability, and you try to keep that relationship always with the friendship, so that there's always a way back to that salvation, to that love and to that respect. So that's important in these days, inshaAllah. But that is the great struggle, that's why we do what we do, the charity that people give, the activities that they go out and feed. They're trying to build their accounts extraordinarily large with Allah, because this is the time to make your bargain before Allah, begins to collapse. Once it begins to collapse, there's no more giving, there's no more nothing. Don't think you're going to wait till you see Armageddon and then you're going to make a donation. Nothing is needed at that time. Allah is describing, no, that's over with. You have to make your bargain now, you have to make your commitments now, you have to make your involvement now. Because by the time you see it, it's finished, everything's already collapsing and people are going to have what they have and have the amal and action and faith that they have. And then they go through those types of hardships. But yeah, that's the importance of people being committed and involved and participating, so that to take away difficulties. And Allah gives in exchange faith, gives in exchange good actions, good deeds. So that's the whole process of keeping your faith alive and faith in action. That's why everyone's being advised that put your faith into action. Don't tell us you believe, but show it with your actions and your involvement, so that Allah puts within the hisab of that person these barakas, these blessings, to save them from these events. Every day you wake up and they did something new, they've attacked new countries and they have a very aggressive game plan for difficulties that they want to inflict upon this earth. So people just have to wake up and look around and keep investigating, and then they believe. And as a result they should take actions based on their belief, in which to fortify their belief and build their belief and build the belief of the family, inshaAllah. The love within the heart, and this is the most important, that people will be with whom they love. Means that's what we talked about last night, last weekend. So that's an immense subject that hopefully people, it triggered something within their understanding. There is a effort on this dunya by shaitan. Nothing is random. In 1960s or 50s, shaitans came out and decided that was going to start. They would break the relationship between child and parent, and they began to teach people to put your children in a room, let him yell and scream and shut the door. They broke the madad, they broke the tawakkul, they broke the reliance and the natural need for the child to the parent, because for that child the parent is Allah, is the Divine for them. The parent sustains them, feeds them, nourishes them. Means their whole tawakkul and their whole reliance is on the parent. And the natural order in which Prophet brought for us is you have to nourish that relationship. And that child is going to bond with you, love you, rely upon you as you rely upon Allah. So there was a concerted effort to break that. And why? Because the next phase is that they would go into the school systems. And in the school systems, since they broke the relationship, they would now listen to other people for guidance, because they have no empathy, no connection in their heart, no reliance upon their parent. They have actual anger and disconnection to the parents. So as a result their heart are fresh for new ideas, and Allah protect these children for what they're learning in these systems and by who is teaching these systems. And then they want to reorient them into different directions and different understandings. And as a result by the time they enter college they're completely different creatures. And then look at the situation we have now. So it was patiently maneuvered. So don't think anything is random. Everyone has to believe that shaitan has a plan, and he has patiently moved his plan along. We didn't get here by accident. We didn't get to this point in our lives in the Western world by accident. Shaitan has purposefully planned each step. So then the believer has to believe and wake up. When they wake up and understand that love is the essential element, you have to love your guide and you have to love with your heart. It's not ishq, it's not passion, it's not sort of inappropriate, it's love and reverence. It's the love that you have for something holier than yourself, and that you treat it with respect, you treat it with a holiness, because that's your reverence that you want to show Allah. There has to be something holier than me so that I can practice this love I have for Allah. And when we develop that character and we develop that relationship, Allah is then looking and saying, Afarin, good, you're getting it. You got to treat somebody with the reverence and respect, and that's a symbol of the heavens. So you find someone more pious than yourself, someone who symbolizes the heavens for you, you respect them. And if they teach about Sayyidina Muhammad then you respect them. And that builds that love, that builds a reliance on your heart. Just like the child, that was the whole example of that talk and that weekend was important, because this whole tawakkul, this whole process of reaching towards these realities is that you have to build that reliance, build that trust, build within your heart. As a result your heart will bond, and that bond is important. That's the bond that opens the fayaz, the emanations, that opens the realities, and that you'll be with whom you love, and whom you love will be with you. And that's what we call the madad. And it's so simple, it's just by the act of reverence and love within the heart. Then they nourish that by meditating and contemplating. So I don't understand why when we say like, do like this, and then you get 10 questions, it's like that, it's exactly like this, it's like this. It's very simple. Don't make it so complicated, that when you have a reverence and love you close your eyes and you feel that reverence, that you're with me now and guide me and teach me. And for women, we said before, it's very obvious, you have to have the reverence for the shaykh who's teaching you and talking to you now. But when you want to connect your heart, there's more comfort in visualizing Hajj Amina, who's a big awliyaullah, and that you visualize her presence and that you connect with her heart and ask that she dress you, and that keep your love and respect for the shaykh who's teaching you. So he's feeding you these knowledges and you're connecting your heart and asking for her spiritual dress, for the men to ask for the spiritual dress of the shaykh. That bond of connection grows by this muhabbat and reverence, because the more appropriate word would be a reverence, to have a respect. And with that respect you learn your manners, you learn your good character, and with that good character Allah begins to teach the servant. And when Allah teaches through good character, good manners, they learn the ways of Allah, right? So what we call the natural law, which is the sharia of Allah, because the one whom has what we described, humility, whom has modesty, Allah begins to grant them faith. And then the two friends of faith always accompany them, humility and modesty. So when you're building your faith you have humility and modesty, and Allah is now teaching you sharia, that don't do that, do like this, don't be like that, be like this. And that becomes the way, and the way is built based on good character. So we're not a class in which to sit and keep bombarding the head and trying to convince people's heads and get them to memorize things through their heads. But it's a way of the heart, the way of good deeds and good actions, inshaAllah.